So I am solo today for coffee chat. Facebook did not want to let Lindsay and I go live together, and Lindsay's actually teaching our kids class right now, which is awesome. For those of you who didn't know, during all this crazy time, Lindsay and I have been offering free kids classes several times a day. So we have this month we're moving into the last week of March, first week of April, we have a kids class in the morning every day and a kids class in the afternoon every day. So if you want to get in on those, send us a message and we'll get you the links for those, or scroll down the page and you can find them. So today, I just finished teaching cardio drumming, so sorry I'm sweaty and messy and super thirsty, but I wanted to chat a little bit about nutrition during all of this crazy time. We've been talking a lot about moving your body and your mindset and all of those things, but I don't think we have talked nearly enough about nutrition. So I am declaring this week of lockdown, this week of quarantine, to be Nutrition Week. So we are going to be talking all things nutrition all week long, and giving you guys tips and hints and strategies on ways to handle your nutrition in times of stress, in times of uncertainty, and how to stay away from your refrigerator, stay away from the pantry, stay away from all that junk. There's so much stuff to tempt you. And it's a struggle right now, guys. I'm not making light of the whole situation. This is very, very difficult. A lot of people struggle with uncertainty. A lot of people struggle with emotional eating and those feelings of anxiety creeping up and all of those kind of things. And many of us, we have turned to food for the longest time of ways to cope with that, right? So now we need to find some new coping mechanisms and some new strategies and some ways to stay away from the refrigerator. I've seen so many posts from people that they're struggling with their nutrition. And I find when the going gets tough, nutrition tends to be the first thing that people toss to the side. That they tend to they'll maybe keep going with their workouts, they'll keep going with their movement, they'll keep working on their mindset. They'll be like, I'm trying to be happy, I'm trying to be this, I'm doing all these things. But nutrition, it's almost like we can secret eat, and we think that nobody notices, and that we're comforting ourselves with these foods. But then ultimately, it pays a huge price on all of the other things. So if you're keeping your fitness routine to some degree, and you're trying to keep your mindset on track, but you're running to the refrigerator and you're sneaking little bits of junk all the time, it's going to catch up with all of those pieces. You cannot out-exercise a bad diet. And if you're feeling guilty about the things that you're eating, and the ways that you're handling your nutrition, your mindset's going to suffer too. And if you start regaining weight and doing those kind of things as well, then your mindset really suffers. So strategies during this time. I definitely, you guys, I'm sure you're sick of hearing me talk about meal prep, but I highly, highly recommend to still do a meal prep. You need it more right now than you did usually. Whether you have more time, you're one of those people that you're out of work and you're like, I don't know what to do with myself. I'm feeling bored. I can't leave my house. I don't know what to do. So if you're somebody that has more time, then get in that kitchen and start meal prepping. If you're somebody who has less time, like I currently find myself having far less time than what I usually did, then you need to meal prep again. It is so, so important. So you need to take a bit of an inventory of what you have in your house, because I know groceries are something that can be a struggle for many of us right now. We're only doing groceries once a week. We've been lucky that we can still get most things, most items. Hi, Debbie. But I know a lot of you are not in that position, so you need to be able to see what you have and what meals you can make out of the foods that you have. If you need help with that, please post in the group. You know what? I have chicken, I have tomatoes, and I'm not sure what to do with it. Let us give you some ideas. Let us help. We made like a pasteless hamburger helper last night, because we were like, okay, what do we have? What did we take out? And we were out bike riding later than we anticipated, and we didn't have the plan or the time to make the original plan. So yeah, we sort of played a little bit of like, what's that show, Chopped? That's what it's called. It's called Chopped, where you have like certain ingredients and you make a meal out of them. So anyways, that's something that the group can definitely help with. There's several people in this group. Sorry guys, I just have to adjust this. There's several people in the group that are really great cooks, that they know their ingredients, they know what to do. So ask for help, but definitely you need to make a prep. I see the biggest problem right now is not meals, from what I'm seeing. The biggest problem is snacking. So some strategies to deal with snacking. Those snacky foods that you find that you're eating a lot of, it's funny because my 5-year-old, Every single time I ask him if he wants something, if he's hungry, whatever, he's like, I want a snack from the pantry. I want a treat from the pantry. Like, that's all he ever wants. So what we did last week is we made those treats and those snacks less accessible. He ate a treat from the pantry one time last week. That is it. We cooked, we baked, we made some healthier options. We made a healthier version of banana bread. We made some protein cookies. I made some Kodiak protein muffins for them. I made a bunch of different snacky things, and then they had to eat fruit and vegetables every single time they wanted to eat. So every time they told me that they wanted something to eat, they had to have a fruit and a vegetable, and then they could have one of the baked things, which again were healthier options than some of the pantry junk. So we just made them less accessible. If you're not as good at following the rules, hold on guys, 1 second here. There we go. If you're not as good at following the rules, you need to hide those things from yourself. So if you have foods that you don't want to be eating, put them on a top shelf, put them on a low shelf. Put them in a cupboard that you actually have to open and close the doors for. So not with all the rest of your food in your pantry, but move them to a different location. Take them to the basement. Put them in a freezer. Whatever you need to do to make those foods less accessible to you. But if every time you open your refrigerator, there is cheesecake staring at you, what do you think you're going to eat when you're hungry or bored or emotional or whatever, and you open that refrigerator? So you need to organize your food, your pantry, your fridge, your freezer, so that when you open those to look for foods, it hits you in the face with the foods that you should be eating. So that is one of the biggest things to do. Another thing is, if you're finding yourself at home all the time now, if you're not going out for work and you're home, either working from home or not working from home, you need to pack a lunch every single day. The foods that you will eat all day long fit in that lunch bag. That is what you eat. So you get up in the morning, you pack that lunch, you pack it the night before, whatever, but you pack that lunch and that is where you eat from. So when you're hungry, you go to that lunch bag. You don't just eat willy-nilly everything in the house, you eat from that lunch bag. At least then, when the lunch bag is gone, you can then make your conscious choice to be finished eating, or then you're making a conscious decision and you're not just mindlessly or emotionally or doing any of those things. You're not just, randomly eating, because if you make the choice to then open the freezer and get something out of there that's not in your lunch bag, you know that you're doing that. Putting notes, if you live alone especially, but putting notes on your fridge, putting before transformation pictures, that kind of thing on your fridge, putting quotes of things that will help keep you on track, things like you can't out-train a bad diet. Lots of you guys are training harder than ever right now. You're showing up to classes, you're running, you're doing lots of different, you're walking a whole bunch of times every day, you're doing lots of great things, but if you're sneaking in the pantry every 20 minutes, it's not going to do anything. You can't out-train a bad diet. So you need to get that eating on track. Meal planning, so as well as meal prepping, where you're actually prepping the food and snacks, meal planning is also going to be really important. So even just loosely doing a guide of what you're going to eat today. So I know, like Lindsay, for instance, says that she hates eating on a plan. She doesn't like, when it says to have tuna for lunch, she's like, but I don't want tuna. It doesn't mean that she necessarily wants to bad. It's just that that's not what she wants to eat. But at least having a loose meal plan of these are my breakfast options, these are my lunch options, these are my dinner options, these are my snack options. So kind of like a choose your own adventure type deal. That if you know what your options are, then again, it's just so much easier. So that's one of the things that I always did when I was in my loss phase, and I still frequently do it, is I will just have options for this is what my breakfast is. So I can choose one of two. So I can either have oats or I can have eggs. But those are my two breakfast options. And then I don't have to think about breakfast. It's just so simple that it's like, this is what I'm going to eat. It doesn't mean that I always feel like eating that thing necessarily, but it's those are my options. And then same with snacks, same with dinner, all of those things. That just having your options, knowing exactly what you're going to do, and then programming them into your day. It takes one thing away from you. When there's so much overwhelm going on in the world, if you can have something become mindless, it's really, really important. So jumping on a meal plan, yes, you have to take a little bit of planning up front, but then it offloads the planning for the rest of the day. So take some time when you're feeling a little bit less stressed, and make a meal plan. If you need help with that, I can do I'm actually offering one-on-one nutrition coaching right now, and I'm offering group nutrition coaching. So the group program is actually half price of the one-on-one. So if you want to do group nutrition coaching, send me a message. It's $55 for one session a week for a month. So that's kind of another idea for you, that if you just need a little bit of help with, let's all get together and kind of create a plan. So, Shannon, what are you going to do for breakfast? Dawn, what are you going to have for breakfast? Debbie, what are you going to have for breakfast? So we just sort of set up those ideas and bounce some ideas off of each other, check in weekly so that we have some strategy sessions. And just accountability, guys, is so huge. And it's one of the things that we frequently see people just like pull the wool over their eyes, and they're like, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to step on the scale. I don't want to weigh my food. I don't want to measure my food. I don't want to think about a macro. I don't want to do any of that. But as soon as you start backing away from that, you're disengaging, and that's when weight gain starts to happen. So stay plugged into something. Stay plugged into the free community. Jump on some one-on-one coaching, which is more personalized. You lead the way on this, on one-on-one coaching. That I'm there to support you, but it's definitely your charge, your journey. So you need to show up. You need to be accountable. You need to be sending me the pieces that you choose, and we make a customized plan for you on what works. So you ask, we need to create a meal plan. Well, I'm not making you a meal plan. I'm supporting you in making a meal plan. I've made many meal plans over the years, and me giving you a meal plan right now, especially when all this stress, all this emotion, all this anxiety is happening, you're not going to follow the meal plan. 99.9% of people are not going to follow it. That most people need to have some accountability of creating their own plan and coming up with all the strategies of what we can do. So when stress starts to happen, when things start to happen, what are some strategies? What time of day do you find that you're emotionally eating the most? Are you bored eating? What can we do about that? Bored eating, one of the big things is keep your hands busy. It's the same if anybody's ever quit smoking. It's a lot of the habitual stuff behind it. So we need to make sure that your hands are busy and your mind is busy. So you need to have something to occupy your brain and your hands. If you're just occupying your hands, it's not going to work because your brain is still going to be thinking about food. So you have to find something that does both. So you need to be able to, come up with a new habit or a new hobby. If you find that every time you sit down to watch TV that you're eating, then you need to make sure that you're doing something while you're watching TV. If it's not occupying your hands and your brain, then you're probably going to keep doing it. You need to also be able to let those emotions out. I've seen this quote everywhere this week, that it's okay to not be okay right now. It's okay. I mean, lots of you guys, there's a lot of fear out there. There's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's all of these feelings, and it's okay to not be okay with that. But what happens when you emotionally eat is you're stuffing down feelings that you don't want to feel. Nobody ever emotionally eats feelings that they're dealing with. If you're dealing with something, you feel empowered, you feel in charge, you feel all of those things. If you're stuffing them down, that gives you that feeling of powerlessness, and that tends to be when we emotionally eat. So if you find that you're emotionally eating, think, what am I not dealing with right now? And if you're not dealing with how you're feeling, let yourself feel those feelings. Let yourself have a good cry. Let yourself talk about it. Let yourself talk about the fear. Chat with a friend. But if you're feeling lonely, that is huge right now. Oh my goodness. I know as an extrovert, I am struggling right now, not being able to connect with people, not being able to touch people and hug people and doing all of those things. There's a lady that I walk to school with my kids every morning. We can't chat. It feels so different to not be in person with people. My daughter is also a massive extrovert, and she is struggling big time, and seeing my little one struggle is really, really hard. Seeing her see her friends out on walks, and she can't touch them, she can't hug them, she can't really approach them. There's all of these things. So it's definitely a trying time for many. But talking about it is helpful. I had a virtual date with friends on the weekend. We got together on a platform like this and we chatted. It helped. It didn't fix it, but it helped. And recognizing that problem helped too. That I know that hold on. I gotta plug in. 1 second, guys. Woohoo! I didn't realize my computer wasn't plugged in. Whoops. There we go. All right, we should be good now. So recognizing those feelings and addressing them and being okay that everything is not just perfect and okay. So allowing yourself to feel those feelings will help with the emotional eating. It's not going to fix it, but it's going to help, because if you're dealing with those emotions, like I said, you feel power. If you're not dealing with them, you feel powerless. And that whole cycle of emotional eating, where you feel a feeling like a negative, a bad, unpleasant feeling, and then you go ahead and you emotionally eat, and then you get the feelings of guilt that come with it, and remorse and all of that stuff, and then sadness, and then you come back to the emotional eating, and it creates this vicious cycle that it's hard to get out of. So one of the ways that you can get out of it is take your power back from those emotions by feeling them and by allowing yourself to move through them instead of suppressing them and pushing them down. So whatever those feelings are, just sit there and think about it. There's a bunch of feelings charts that you can find. You can just Google even, like a feelings wheel, because sometimes you'll be feeling anger and you're like, I know it's not anger, but what comes behind anger? What feeling is behind that? So if you can really pinpoint what your feelings are and direct them in the right place, then that will really help. So maybe you're mad at your boss because you don't feel like your boss is doing everything, to support you during this. Or maybe you're mad at your spouse because it's really, really hard being locked in a house with your spouse all the time. So you need to figure out what the feelings are and where you're directing them so that you're not just stuffing them down with food. And I don't know why, but emotionally eating, like you never emotionally crave broccoli. That it's just not a thing, because you crave those foods that bring up your endorphins, and those tend to be the quick carbs and the junky foods. So pay attention to those things. Journaling is going to be super, super helpful. Not food journaling, not I ate an apple, I ate a cupcake, not that. But emotional journaling and talking about your feelings, you don't have to share them with anybody, but just putting down how you're feeling. You know what? I just went to the fridge and I ate a cupcake, and now I'm feeling like total junk, but why did I eat that cupcake? So writing down, what were you feeling? Were you really angry? Were you really sad? Were you whatever? What was the feeling behind eating that? So even, ideally, if you can take the pause and write about it first, and then if you still feel like eating it, you can't, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it, but try to take the pause and just press that pause button before you do it and think about, what are my feelings behind this? Why am I doing this right now? Am I bored? Am I hungry? So, make yourself a little sheet that says, am I bored? Am I hungry? Am I craving? Am I emotional? What's going on right now? And then every single time you go to eat something, fill out that sheet first so that you're giving yourself some accountability. That, right now I'm eating because I'm hungry. And that's okay, because that I feel in my belly, I feel weak, I feel tired, I feel all of those things, and food actually fixes it. Oh wow, I ate something and now I feel better. Or I'm feeling emotional and I ate something and now I feel like junk because I did it. So getting clear on those emotions and creating some strategies for yourself around them is going to be really, really helpful. Support is also huge. The biggest part of this, accountability and support. Get some, find some, hook up with a friend for some accountability. Again, I said I can do one-on-one coaching and I can do group coaching, that both of those are options right now. If you're interested in either, please reach out. The group, we post every day, what are you eating? We have like 4 people that post on it. I know more of you are eating. In our Your Bariatric Transformation group this week, we're starting today, will be our nutrition challenge for the week. And our nutrition challenge this week is going to be a show me your plate challenge. So show me what you're eating every single day. And then at the end of the week, somebody's going to win an Amazon gift card just for showing us what they were eating. We will have our next Iron Chef. Lindsay and I will be announcing the winner from last week's Iron Chef competition, and we will have another version of Iron Chef this week where we will challenge you to make something else using a secret ingredient. We are super duper committed to helping you guys through this. There will be loads of nutrition information this week. I will post some ideas for some different meals, some different preps. The recipe subscription that goes out next Monday is actually all about comfort foods. That was something that I was committed to as well this week, that I know comfort foods are a big thing. So it's healthy versions of comfort foods, things like chicken pot pie, things like meatloaf, like all those like homey comfort foods that just like wrap their arms around you like a hug. All of those kind of things. And then the following week's recipe subscription, if you're part of that program, it's $4.99 a month, and you get an email every Monday. But that, the one the following week is going to be comfort snacks. So little snacky things that kind of, again, provide you with comfort, things like banana bread, but healthier versions. So that is something that I am huge about, that if I'm craving something, if I make it myself and make a healthier version of it, I feel much better eating it. So I try to avoid the craving first, but if I absolutely cannot avoid a craving for something, then I make a healthier version of it, and I try to make sure that I always have those healthy things in my fridge. So I have things like energy balls, I have ingredients to make like protein mud cakes, I try to use protein cookies if I can. I'll just do like healthier, not always protein infused, but low sugar things. I don't use a lot of artificial sweeteners, that doesn't tend to be my jam, but I do tend to use a lot of more natural ingredients and try to fill with those as often as I can. So if you need help, if you're struggling, please, please, please reach out. And Lindsay and I are both here to support you. So Lindsay can help you with the mindset stuff and getting moving. And I am here to support you with nutrition, guys, that I understand how hard this is. I understand the being locked in these four walls all the time is a struggle. I totally get it. And that, again, many of us are struggling with the food component. But please reach out if you are struggling and we can get you set up. As I said, the group coaching we've never offered before, so it will be a first time to try it. But $55 for the entire month, so it's like $12, $10, no, more than 10. Let's say $14 a week, somewhere in there, is what it's going to cost you, and that will get you some group support so that you can, help to create a plan. You can have people to connect with in a small group setting, and then we will chat on a group call once a week to help you guys to come up with strategies, to help you come up with a meal plan, to help you to, figure out this crazy world that you're living in right now, so to give you more and more strategies to success. So if you need that help, reach out. If you don't want to talk in a group and you want some one-on-one support, reach out. I'm here for that as well. $27.50 a week is what our one-on-one nutrition coaching is. So again, pretty minimal. I know that money's tight right now, so we definitely want to make sure that you're not paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars for these things. So if you need help, though, we are here. And again, our free group in Bariatrics Beyond the Honeymoon, every single day we post, what are you eating? So post on that post. Get some accountability. If right now, today, it's not perfect, post today anyways and start the habit of posting every single day. Denise reached out last week and told us she needed us to hold her accountable. She needed to post on that post every day. So now I'm looking for Denise every day on there, and if she doesn't post, I'll be tagging her. I'm looking at what she's eating every day. So it was just a simple thing of, hey, can somebody tag me every day? I need to do this. And if you need that, reach out to a buddy in the group. Lisa and Tara are very, very consistent. So is Rachel at posting on that post. I'm sure if you reached out to any of them and said, hey, Lisa, every day when you post, can you tag me as well? Tara, every day when you post, can you tag me as well? And those people, they're fantastic. They're great support. And I have no doubt. Denise is also posting on there every day. So again, reach out to Denise and say, hey, Denise, when you post every day, can you tag me? It helps us all to stay accountable. And then when Denise tags Rosie every day, and then Rosie tags Julie, and then Julie tags Frankie, and then, you know what, all of a sudden everybody's getting held accountable in the free group. So if that's what you need right now, reach out to a buddy and ask them to tag you on that post. And post it even if it's freaking ugly. Do it regardless of what you ate that day. You know what, today I ate a cupcake, and I'm going to post it anyways because I did it. Just not saying it doesn't mean that you didn't do it. So just post it and talk about it and give yourself that accountability that even if you don't think you need it, you need it. All of us need that little bit of accountability. If we could do this by ourselves, we wouldn't be where we are. So let's keep doing this. Let's get together, band together as much as you can, and focus on that nutrition. I declare this, as I said, Nutrition Week. So get on that nutrition. Don't let another week go by and say that you're going to start next week. No, you won't. Start today. I don't care what your plan is for the rest of the day today. You can start from right this second. If you're sitting here watching this live right now, eating a bag of chips, you can start right this second. That don't put another chip in your mouth. That move on from here and do better from this second forward. You can't change what's already happened, but you can make it better from here forward. All right? So if you need anything, please, please, please reach out, and we are here for you. Lindsay and I will both be posting this week. Lindsay will be doing an email on Thursday, so you will get an email about nutrition strategies from Lindsay's point of view. Lindsay and I do nutrition very, very differently. So I'm a planner, I'm a rule follower, I do all of that. Lindsay is much more fly by the seat of her pants. But at the end of the day, we're both healthy. So Lindsay will give you some of her ideas. I will give you some of my ideas on the blog on Saturday. Make sure you check those. Check out that email, check out that blog, and if you need more support, then we are here for you. So enjoy the rest of your day, whatever day, I think it's Monday. I don't even know anymore, all the days roll together. And I will chat with you guys all very soon, and have a great Monday. Bye, everyone.